Hello again. This is Rob Wagon with MyCloudIT. Today I wanted to show you the newest solution in our offering, the Azure RemoteApp Migration Tool. This tool will help you migrate from your current Azure RemoteApp deployments into the new MyCloudIT solution. We start by going to mycloudit.com/ARA migration, and this will take you to our RemoteApp page that will tell you all about the solution MyCloudIT offers and how you can take advantage of this free migration service that'll be completed in just a couple hours. All you have to do, come to our page here and then click Migrate Off Now, and we're going to sign you into our portal. So it'll ask if you're here for an Azure RemoteApp migration, click here, and then it's going to ask you for credentials. These are your Azure subscription credentials. We need access to your current Azure RemoteApp collection and move your Azure RemoteApp image from your classic portal into the new ARM portal and then build an infrastructure as a solution around it. So we'll log in with our credentials. The first time you do this, it's going to ask you to grant the MyCloudIT portal to access your Azure subscription. So now that we're at this page, right up here at the top, start Azure RemoteApp migration. The first thing we do is confirm your credentials to your Azure Classic Portal subscription. We have our migration terms of service here. Please review those. So we can say scan my account and you'll see it start scanning. Now this will take up to 3 minutes. Now that the scan's complete, let's click continue. And then we'll pick our Azure RemoteApp collection. So we have a number of collections that have already been created. I'm just going to grab one here. This is a hybrid collection, which means it connects to a domain name. And so we know there's a domain controller that's been deployed within the Azure Virtual Network in the Classic portal. We're also showing the number of applications that have been published. At the end, I'm going to show you all of these applications being republished in the MyCloudIT platform. So we'll go ahead and select this, scroll to the bottom of the screen, and click Continue. Now we'll look at the different offers that are available. The domain Joint RDS is the offer that will work for that collection. You can even review the architecture here, so this makes the assumption there's an existing domain controller. We then create our deployment, which includes the gateway and web server, the connection broker, licensing server, and file server capabilities, and then your scale-out session hosts. We also use user profile disks, just like Azure RemoteApp, and we'll actually copy your old user profile disks over in case you need to retrieve data from them. So here we just choose Select, move down and click Continue, and now we're on phase 4 where we're actually going to name this deployment. In the MyCloudIT portal, this will be named RW15-DJApp3. The public domain name, we have a great piece of help here that'll explain this to you, but basically we own the domain name autords.com. This will be a subdomain off of that. You are also welcome to have your own URL if you want. You need to acquire the certificate for that domain name, but we have documentation on how you can set that up. Set your time zone. This sets the time zone of your management servers in your deployment. And then existing credentials. So this is the existing domain name that the Azure RemoteApp collection is using, and then these are existing admin credentials in that domain. We need admin credentials because we're going to create new virtual machines and create the whole RDS deployment. We even give you the ability to create a VM name prefix. Add this prefix so that all these names stand out to you on how they were created. We use a very common naming scheme. Our RDS management server is RDS MGMT. Our session hosts are RDS SSH-0 through however many session hosts you need. By adding the prefix, you can now create multiple deployments in the same domain if you want, or if you want your environment looking a certain way, you can tag all these VMs that we created as MyCloudIT solution. You then can define the storage per user. For RemoteApp, typically 4 gig is more than enough, but if your Azure RemoteApp collection currently saves data to the local VM, which is actually redirected to the user profile disk, then you may want more data here. And then if you have data in your existing Azure RemoteApp disks, we'll even copy those over for you if you'd like. And then in advanced options, since we chose the standard deployment and this Azure RemoteApp collection only has a single user, we only need a single session host. And we'll go ahead and estimate that monthly cost before we move on. We have our estimate cost here, so we project what a 24/7 runtime would cost in Azure, as well as the licensing cost. Click Continue, and we're on to Step 5, Billing. Before we start this migration, we're going to ask for billing information. So if you're new to our portal, please fill out your credit card information. We can't proceed until you do. Click Continue. And now this last page is the confirmation page. What we're going to build, time zone we're going to set, where it's going to be built. Check our services agreement box and click Submit. We'll take the next 90 minutes or so to go build your Azure Remote App migration in the MyCloudIT portal. Real quick, I wanted to show you, here's our deployment being created with the status of migrating. If we click on this, think of notifications like the event viewer in Windows Server. It's going to show you all the processes that we go through to create your solution. And you can see that tasks have already started to happen. We created a resource group. So the resource group will be the name of your collection. And then we add a -mig for migration. We create a virtual network. And note that the virtual network address space is different than your Azure Remote App virtual network in the classic portal, because you have a domain controller that's running in the Azure Remote App Classic Virtual Network. What we're going to do is establish virtual network peering between the new virtual network in the new portal and the old virtual network in the classic portal, so that this new deployment can still see and authenticate against your existing domain controller. We don't want to move all your other virtual machines because all of that is up and running. There's no need to move them at this time. Let's get the migration done, and then if that's something you want to move at a later date, we're happy to talk to you about that if you need our help, or you're welcome to do it yourself. But as we can see, this deployment has started. So what I'm going to do is come back to you after the deployment has finished and show you the finished product. Okay, and we're back, and our deployment has now finished. As you can see in our deployment dashboard, it's a domain joined RDS, and the status is running. So we can drill right in here and now look at this RDS solution. So now as we drill into this deployment, we can see things like, here's where I activate SPLA. With typical RDS deployments, you need to have some kind of client access license, either the SAL or the CAL. Then the web access URL. So we can flip right over here and then log in as an end user and see the solution. While that's loading, we can also come back here and look at the virtual machines. Because we only had one user in the collection, we only need one session host to support that user, and there it is. Our users in groups, so the whole breakdown of groups. If you need Office 365 integration, Remote App. Here's the collection we migrated over. We show you what host server it's running on. We give you all the granularity of the different settings, but we also take you over to applications. So the applications area is where we can see all of the published applications. Then, as I mentioned, we can go over here and log in as the user. And then we get to our landing page. And as you can see, the same apps we had published in Azure Remote App are now published here. So from an end user experience, all they do is click on the app, log back in. And then, as you can see, the application starting just like it did from Azure Remote App, but now it's hosted on MyCloudIT, where you have the granularity of managing the server sizes, managing the scheduling of workloads. So I showed you Word starting up, and you can see Word running in the taskbar, Visio, Firefox, other applications as well. So what I wanted to show you here was all these applications started in Azure Remote App. They're still running there and still accessible there as well, but now they're also running and accessible from the MyCloudIT deployment. All of it again managed from our portal. We make it very easy to publish new apps. And then the scheduler, we have a whole different video that talks about the details of the scheduler, but we give you all of this management and control and the same solution that Azure Remote Apps provided. That's all I wanted to cover today. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you well.